Welcome back to Fox 5's On the Hill this Sunday morning. The Democratic National Convention begins in Chicago on Monday, and it comes as Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz have re-energized the Democratic Party after President Biden stepped out of the race. This convention gets going, and it will continue through Thursday. Joining us now, Susan Swecker. She is one of many Democrats from our region who's going to be traveling to the convention. She's also the chairwoman of the Virginia Democratic Party. Susan, good to talk to you once again. So take us through those hours when word was getting to you that something big was coming at the top of your ticket and there was going to be a change. What were those phone calls like?
Oh, I will never forget it. I had managed to think I could take a nap on a Sunday afternoon thinking nothing was going to happen. And an hour later, woke back up to a lot of phone calls, texts, and emails. So it was unexpected and surprising. And some of my staff and I immediately went up to the Biden-Harris headquarters to be with that staff who were just, going about their work and making calls. And we pulled our delegation together by, I think, the next day or two to talk to everyone. So it was definitely, it's been an interesting and exciting and invigorating couple of weeks.
Susan, I was only 2 years old in 1968, so I don't remember the hubbub of LBJ pulling out of the race. But it does seem that this transition has gone a lot smoother for the Democrats than back in 1968. What are we to make of how quickly Democrats have coalesced behind the vice president, and what does that say about how they felt about President Biden?
Well, look, we were state party chairs, our organization, we were solidly behind President Biden. And I have nothing but mad respect for him and for him having the foresight to pick a vice president as accomplished as Kamala Harris. So I think once President Biden made the decision, it was very interesting and invigorating to just watch everyone go, wait a minute, we've got an accomplished woman here who can step into this role, and let's get behind her. So I think that I have nothing but great respect for him for having, that foresight. His legacy is going to be one that's received very, very positively, and I can't wait to hear his remarks Monday night. But I also think there is a generational passing of the torch with the Harris-Walz ticket that actually gives opportunities that we didn't always have before.
Susan, I'm somebody who always kind of thought that, we make too much sometimes of these vice presidential picks. But Vice President Harris seems to have found a political weapon in Tim Walz that a lot of people weren't expecting. What does he bring to the ticket that she didn't already have?
I got to tell you, this rural white girl here was really happy that she selected Tim Walz, a fella who, grew up on a farm in Nebraska and really just has such an interesting record as not just he was a school teacher, but also a coach. And I think she picked someone that I think is really smart to do this. One, I happen to like governors because they get stuff done, but I also think she picked a partner that she trusts, get along with, and someone that you need someone as president of the United States, and even running this, as part of the ticket here, that's going to tell you the truth, because you got a lot of yes people around you, and you want someone that is going to tell you the truth and be a good partner.
Right now, Democrats have excitement, they have momentum. But excitement and momentum only goes so far once we hit the fall. What do the Democrats have to do as far as getting specific about what a Harris administration would do and approach in the White House?
Well, I want to tell you this. We were seamless in our transition from Biden to Harris-Walz, and our excitement has showed results. I mean, we have unprecedented amount of volunteers showing up. I want to remember the number here, and I can't. We've opened 18 offices across the Commonwealth with total 25 by the end of the month. People are actually just showing up at these offices to say, I want to knock on doors. I want to make phone calls. I want to do events for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. So we are actually, in addition to being excited and energized, we are actually have already done the work, and we will keep doing the work because we have elections every year in Virginia, and you can take nothing for granted.
We got about 45 seconds. This state was tied, Virginia, a couple of weeks ago between Biden and Trump. How are you feeling right now? We got about 40 seconds.
Look, always run like we're behind. We take nothing for granted. We are very proud of Kamala Harris and what she and Tim Walz bring to the ticket. And look, I'm going to say this. She's going to continue to grow the economy. Donald Trump wants to eliminate over 100,000 jobs, federal jobs in Virginia. That's a big driver in Northern Virginia is federal jobs. They're going to be gone if Donald Trump wins. But Kamala Harris and Tim Walz know the value of good, hardworking federal employees. And that's the kind of leadership they're going to continue to do.
Susan Swecker is the chairwoman of the Virginia Democratic Party. Susan, we thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in Chicago.